In order to wire circuits and create panel schedules in Revit, you must first create circuits. Circuits connect similar electrical components to form an electrical system. When circuits are created for a power system, only compatible devices can be connected. All devices in a circuit must specify the same distribution system. In other words, they must have the same voltage and number of poles. Then Revit will automatically calculate wire sizes for power circuits. In the south portion of Level 1, I have begun placing electrical fixtures, and now I need to create circuits for them. To create a circuit, I'll first select an electrical fixture. When I do, the ribbon changes to the Modify Electrical Fixtures contextual ribbon. On the Create Systems panel, I'll select Power. When I do, the circuit is created, but only the electrical fixture is added to the circuit at this point. In the contextual ribbon, I'll click Edit Circuit in the Systems Tools panel. Revit enters into Edit Circuit mode, and everything on the screen goes dim, except for the devices on the circuit. Also, Add to Circuit is selected by default in the Edit Circuit panel of the contextual ribbon. So I can begin selecting electrical fixtures to add to the circuit. As you can see, each time I select a fixture, the element becomes bold, and I can easily see which components I have selected. In order to add multiple devices quickly, I can use a window selection. However, when I select several fixtures, a warning appears. The warning states that the total connected load for the circuit is exceeding 80% of the defined rating, which is 20 amps. Remember that all devices in a circuit must specify the same distribution system. This is a 120 volt single-phase 20 amp circuit. Per code, we can only load the circuit to 80%, which calculates to 1,920 volt amps. Revit will help you keep track of that and warn you if you overload a circuit. I'll click anywhere to dismiss the warning. Then I'll select Remove From Circuit in the contextual ribbon. Now when I select a component, it is removed from the circuit. I can only have 8 fixtures on a circuit, so I'll remove fixtures until there are only 8 elements. Look in the options bar to see the number of elements on the circuit. Once all the devices that need to be on the circuit have been selected, we need to select the panel. There are a couple ways to do this. In the contextual ribbon, you can click Select Panel and then select the panel in the drawing area. Or you can simply expand the panel drop-down in the options bar and choose the panel here. In this case, I'll expand the panel drop-down and choose panel PP-A. Now when I pan over to the electrical room, you can see that the panel board has become bold as well. With the circuit complete, I'll click Finish Editing Circuit. Now when I select an electrical fixture that I added to the system, there is an Electrical Circuits contextual ribbon that appears next to the Electrical Fixtures contextual ribbon. Also, looking in the Properties palette, I can see the panel and circuit number in the Electrical Load section. I'll switch to the Electrical Circuits contextual ribbon. Now the Properties palette populates with the circuit properties. In the Electrical Load section, there are several important parameters. For example, you can see the circuit number, the panel that the circuit has been assigned to, the load classification, which is determined by the electrical connectors on the components in the circuit, the circuit rating, the apparent load, and several more, including the voltage drop near the bottom. Also, realize that you can adjust the wire type and see the wire size that Revit has calculated. Additionally, in the ribbon, in the System Tools panel, you can see the circuit number in the System Selector as well. Also, if you want to edit the circuit, you can select Edit Circuit to return to Edit Circuit mode. Or if you had not selected the panel for the circuit, you could choose Select Panel Now in order to do so. And if you wanted to disconnect the panel from the circuit, you could choose Disconnect Panel. In order to see each system in the project, you can look in the System browser. To open the System browser, switch to the View ribbon. In the Windows panel, expand the User Interface drop-down and select the checkbox next to System Browser. This opens the System browser, which is organized in a tree structure. Currently, the view is set to Systems and All Disciplines. However, you could change this to Zones, or filter the view by a discipline. In the Unassigned branch, you can see that there are several items that have not been assigned to a system. I could continue expanding the branches in order to see the specific items. When an element is placed in the model with some type of connector, it is organized in the System browser under Unassigned, depending on the type of connector. Then once it has been added to a system, it is organized based on the type of system. For example, when I expand the electrical branch, I can then expand the power branch and see the panel that we assigned the circuit to. When I expand that branch, the circuit number appears. When I expand that branch, each electrical fixture on the circuit appears. Realize that when you select a fixture in the System browser, it highlights in the drawing area. I'll create another circuit. This time, I'll circuit part of the distribution system. I'll zoom into the electrical room and select panel PP-A. On the Create Systems panel of the contextual ribbon, I'll select Power. When I do, the circuit is created. Once again, I'll click Edit Circuit in the System Tools panel of the contextual ribbon. Now I'll simply expand the panel drop-down in the Options bar and choose panel SP-A. Then I'll click Finish Editing Circuit. Just remember that the distribution system must be specified for a panel to be added to a circuit. Also, the secondary distribution system must be specified for a transformer. Now I can create a circuit for panel SP-A with transformer XFMR-1 as the panel. Additionally, you could create a circuit for the transformer with the main circuit breaker as the panel.